Elodie Harper was the kind of young woman who would give away her last meal and pretend she was not hungry. That was why, even with 200 rich guests watching, she stood between her father and the thin man beside the old bicycle. "Move away from him," Franklin Harper ordered. Elodie did not move. Behind her, a bright red Lamborghini rested under white lights in the garden. Her younger sister, Marissa, sat inside it, laughing while guests took pictures. Their stepmother, Yvonne, clapped as if the whole night belonged to her. Franklin pointed at the stranger. "This beggar entered my house because of you." "He did not enter," Elodie replied. "He was outside the gate. I only gave him food. You took food from my birthday table." There was enough food for everyone. A shocked silence moved through the crowd. Franklin's face became hard. "You always do this. You shame me, then speak as if you are better than us." "I never said that." Marissa stepped out of the car and smoothed her silver dress. "Father bought me a Lamborghini because I know how to behave. You brought a dirty man to his party. Can you not see the difference?" The stranger lowered his eyes. His shirt was faded, his trousers had patches, and one shoe was tied with string. Beside him stood a weak blue bicycle with a bent basket. Elodie looked at him. "What is your name?" "Theo Mercer," he said quietly. Franklin laughed without joy. "Wonderful. Since you care so much about Theo Mercer, I have a gift for you too." Yvonne touched his arm. "Franklin, perhaps this should be private." "No. She likes public kindness. She will receive a public reward." 2 guards closed the garden gates. The guests leaned closer. Elodie felt her heart beating against her ribs. Franklin raised his voice. "Tonight, Marissa receives the Lamborghini, 20% of Harper Estates, and my blessing to marry Preston Vale." Preston, a tall man in a white suit, lifted his glass. Marissa smiled and held his arm. Franklin then faced Elodie. "You receive a choice. Leave this house now with nothing, or marry the beggar you defended." Several guests gasped. Marissa covered her mouth, but her eyes were shining. Elodie stared at her father. "You cannot be serious." "I have never been more serious. My mother left money for the Hopewell Children's Clinic. You promised I would manage it when I turned 25. "That money is under my control," Franklin said. "Walk away tonight, and the clinic loses everything." Elodie's breath stopped. The clinic was the last thing her mother had built before she died. 40 children received medicine there every week. Without the fund, it would close in a month. "You would hurt sick children just to punish me?" she asked. Franklin stepped closer. "I am teaching you that choices have a cost." "No," Elodie said. "You are using helpless children to control me." His hand rose, but Theo caught his wrist before it reached her face. The garden became still. Theo did not squeeze hard. He only held Franklin's hand away from Elodie. "Do not touch her," Theo said. The guards rushed forward. "Stop!" Elodie shouted. Theo released Franklin and lifted both hands. "I want no trouble." Franklin rubbed his wrist. "You dare touch me in my own home? You were going to strike her. She is my daughter. That does not make her your property." A few guests looked down. Others whispered. Preston walked forward. Franklin let security remove him. "This has gone far enough." Marissa laughed. "No, let Elodie answer. She has spent years acting like a saint. Let her prove it." Elodie turned to Theo. "Did my father bring you here for this?" "No," Theo said. "I came to ask for water after my bicycle chain broke. You were the only person who saw me. Would you marry her?" Franklin demanded. Theo looked straight at him. "Not as a punishment." Franklin smiled coldly. "Then you are smarter than you look." Theo faced Elodie. His voice became softer. "You do not know me. Do not say yes because they have trapped you." Elodie swallowed. "If I leave, children lose their medicine. That is not your fault. They will still suffer." Yvonne sighed. "Elodie, stop making this dramatic. Marry him, stay married for 1 year, and your father may forgive you." Franklin turned sharply. I said nothing about 1 year. Elodie understood then. He wanted to break her, not teach her. He wanted her to beg, cry, and choose comfort over the clinic. She looked at Marissa inside the shining car. Then she looked at Theo's broken bicycle. What happens if I agree? Elodie asked. Franklin pointed toward a small table where his lawyer already stood with papers. You sign tonight. You leave with him tonight. You return only when I invite you. Theo frowned. This was prepared. Franklin ignored him. Choose. Elodie walked to the table. Marissa's smile faded. You cannot truly be doing this. Elodie picked up the pen. You wanted proof that I meant what I said. Think about your clothes, your room, your life, Marissa whispered. I am thinking about 40 children. She signed. Theo watched her with an unreadable look, then signed beside her name. Minutes later, Elodie stood outside the locked gate with one small bag. Theo held the bicycle steady. I am sorry, he said. I am not, she replied, though tears filled her eyes. She sat on the back carrier, holding her bag against her chest. Theo began to pedal into the dark road. Behind them, the Lamborghini roared. Cold wind pulled at her dress as the mansion lights grew smaller behind them. Elodie did not know where Theo lived, what waited ahead, or why his voice sounded unlike a beggar's. She knew that the gate had closed, and her life was gone. Ahead, Theo spoke without turning. You chose the broken bicycle tonight, Elodie. One day you will learn what you truly chose. The bicycle shook as Theo rode over the broken road, and Elodie held the metal bar beneath her seat so she would not fall. His last words stayed in her mind. You chose the broken bicycle tonight, Elodie. One day you will learn what you truly chose. She looked at his back. What does that mean? Theo kept his eyes on the road. It means you chose children who needed medicine over a house full of people who wanted to watch you suffer. That is not what you said. It is what I meant. No, it was not. You said I would learn what I truly chose. Theo was quiet for a moment. The bicycle chain clicked beneath them. You are tired, he said. We can speak when we reach home. Your home. Our home now, according to the papers your father forced us to sign. Elodie's hands tightened around the bar. Do not call it that yet. I understand. They rode past bright streets, then smaller shops, then a crowded market that was closing for the night. Theo turned into a narrow path behind the market. Elodie looked around and saw small houses pressed close together. Theo stopped in front of a small brown house with a weak wooden door. We are here, he said. Elodie stepped down and stared at the house. Theo leaned the bicycle against the wall. I know it is not what you are used to. Elodie stood beside the bicycle and listened to music from the market. For the first time that night, there were no cameras, rich guests, or servants watching her pain in silence. You know nothing about what I am used to. I know you came from a mansion. A mansion can still feel cold. Theo looked at her, but she turned away. He opened the door and reached inside. A small lamp came on. The room was poor, but it was clean. There was one narrow bed, one wooden chair, a tiny table, and a shelf with 3 plates. A curtain divided the room from a small cooking area. Elodie placed her bag on the chair. Where is the other room? There is no other room. She slowly faced him. Where do you sleep? On the bed. And where am I supposed to sleep? Theo picked up a thin mat from behind the door and placed it on the floor. You will take the bed. No, Elodie. You have been thrown out of your home, forced into a marriage, and carried across town on a bicycle. Please do not fight me over a bed. I am not taking your bed while you sleep on the floor. You are not taking it. I am giving it. I said no. Theo stared at her for a few seconds. Fine. We can both sit awake until morning and prove that we are equally stubborn. Theo took a clean shirt from a nail on the wall and handed it to her. You can change behind the curtain. She held the shirt. Is this yours? Yes. It will be too big. That is better than sleeping in a party dress. Elodie looked down at the silver cloth. It reminded her of Marissa laughing beside the red Lamborghini. She changed behind the curtain. When she came out, Theo knelt beside a small stove. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Trying to make dinner." "Trying? I can repair a bicycle faster than I can cook rice." "That is not comforting." He opened a pot. A dark smell rose from it. Elodie covered her nose. "What is that?" "It was meant to be stew. It looks angry." Theo laughed softly. "I warned you." She moved beside him. "Do you have onions?" "1. Tomatoes. 2. Oil. A little." "Then move." Theo stepped aside. Elodie washed the pot and made a simple sauce. "You know how to cook," he said. "My mother taught me. I thought people in mansions had workers." "We did. My mother still said a person should know how to feed herself." When the food was ready, Theo filled Elodie's plate first. "This is too much," she said. "You have not eaten." "I ate at the party." "You gave your food to me." Elodie looked at him. "You noticed." "I noticed many things." They sat on the floor. Elodie was so hungry that she finished half her food before slowing down. Theo pushed part of his rice toward her plate. "I do not need it," she said. "Your stomach disagrees." "My stomach has poor manners. It has been an honest friend tonight." She shook her head, but she ate the rice. After dinner, Theo washed the plates outside. When he returned, Elodie stood near a wooden box filled with wires, tools, and phone parts. "What is this?" she asked. "Work." "You repair phones?" "Sometimes." "And radios?" "Yes." "And bicycles?" "Yes." "And you understand legal papers well enough to know my father planned that marriage before tonight." Theo became still. The lawyer was waiting with the papers. Most people would not notice that while guards were rushing at them. "I told you. I noticed things." Elodie crossed her arms. "You also speak like someone who went to school." "I did." "How far?" "Far enough." "That is not an answer." "It is the only answer I have tonight." She moved closer. "Theo, I married a stranger because my father threatened sick children. I have a right to know who is sleeping under the same roof." "You do." "Then tell me." He looked at the floor. "I grew up with very little. I learned to fix things because broken things were all I could afford. I made mistakes. Some people became angry with me. I left my old life and came here." "What people?" "I cannot tell you." "Why?" "Because knowing could place you in danger." Elodie gave a bitter laugh. "My own father used dying children against me, and you think silence will make me feel safe?" "No," Theo said. "But the truth may make you less safe." Theo picked up the mat and spread it beside the bed. "You will sleep there." "I will sleep here." Elodie sat on the edge of the mattress. "What do you expect from me as your wife?" "Nothing." She watched his face. "Nothing?" That ceremony was forced. A forced word does not make you my property. I will not touch you without your permission. I will not control where you go. When the clinic is safe and you are free, you can leave. Why would you agree to marry me then? Because your father wanted you to stand alone. That is all. Theo looked into her eyes. For tonight, yes. Elodie lay down, but sleep did not come quickly. Theo's breathing grew slow. She wondered why a poor repairman spoke like a man used to giving orders. The next morning, loud knocking woke them. "Elodie, open the door." She sat up quickly. "That is Ruth from the clinic." Theo opened the door. "Elodie, you must come," Ruth said. A truck arrived at Hopewell Clinic before sunrise. A truck. Medicine, bandages, children's food, new beds, everything we have begged for. Elodie stood. "From my father?" "No. The boxes have no donor name." She looked at Theo. He was already watching her. At the clinic, workers carried boxes inside as nurses opened the supplies. Elodie checked every paper. "This is enough for 3 months," Ruth said. "Maybe more." "Who paid for it?" The driver said the order came from a private account. Elodie turned to Theo. "Do you know anything about this?" He did not blink. "Why would I?" "Because it happened hours after you promised the clinic would be safe. I said you could leave when it was safe. I did not say I could make it safe." Elodie stepped closer. "Do not lie to me. I asked an old friend for help," he admitted. "What kind of friend can buy all this before sunrise? A friend who owed me. For repairing a bicycle?" Theo's jaw tightened. "Take care of the children, Elodie." He turned and walked out. If you're enjoying this video so far, please consider subscribing to my small channel. My wife promised to make me a chocolate chip cookie if I hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of 2026. So it would mean the world to me. That's it, and thanks for listening this far. Now let's continue. That night, Elodie returned to the small house and found it empty. Theo's bicycle was outside, so she knew he was near. Then she heard his voice behind the house. "The payment cleared," he said quietly. "Keep my name away from the clinic." Elodie moved closer to the wall. Pause followed, then Theo spoke again. "No, the board must not know where I am. Check the missing accounts. Someone moved the money after I disappeared." Elodie's heart began to pound. Theo lowered his voice. "Tell them the owner is still alive." Elodie stood behind the house with one hand pressed against the wall. "Tell them the owner is still alive," Theo had said. The back door opened, and Theo froze when he saw her. "Which owner? You should not be standing out here. The call was about a business problem. You said the board must not know where you are. You said someone moved money after you disappeared. Then you said the owner was still alive." Theo put the phone into his pocket. "I cannot explain everything yet. You say that every time I ask who you are. I am still Theo. That is only your name. Did you pay for the clinic medicine?" "Yes." "With what money?" "Money that belonged to me. A beggar with a broken bicycle had enough money to fill a clinic?" Theo's face became tired. "I never told you I was a beggar. You wore torn clothes and asked for water outside my father's gate. I asked because I was thirsty." "Then why do you live like this?" "Because it is safer." "For whom?" "For both of us if you stop asking questions in the open." Elodie looked around. "You speak as if someone is hunting you." Theo said nothing. She walked past him. "I will not tell anyone what I heard, but I do not trust you." "I understand." "No, you do not. Trust is not something you can ask for while hiding half your life." "I did not ask for it." "That is even worse." The next morning, Elodie went to Hopewell Clinic and helped Ruth arrange the medicine. By noon, the children had eaten, the nurses had clean bandages, and 2 broken beds had been replaced. She had no job, no family support, and only a few coins. She did not want to depend on Theo when she did not know where his money came from. At the market, she asked a bread seller for work. A fruit seller and a cloth seller gave the same answer. By evening, Elodie sat beside Theo's bicycle. "No work?" he asked. "No one needs me." "That is not true. What can you make?" "Meat pies, sweet bread, and small cakes." "Then sell them." "With what oven?" "A baker 2 streets away rents space before dawn." "With what money?" Theo reached into his pocket. Elodie raised one hand. "Do not. It can be a loan. I do not even know if it is clean money." "Fair," he said. He opened his wooden box and removed 3 repaired phones and a radio. "I fixed these for people in the market. They owe me." "You would use your work money?" "I would lend you enough to start." "And if I fail?" "You repay slowly." "What if I never repay?" "Then I will remind you every morning until we are both old." "You are very sure of yourself." "I am sure people like good food." The next morning, Elodie woke at 3. Theo was already fixing the bicycle chain. They carried flour, oil, meat, and spices to the baker's shop. By 6, she had 40 meat pies and 20 small cakes. By 8, she had sold only 3. "This was a bad idea," Elodie said. Theo watched the people walking past. "Your food is good. The problem is that no one knows." "What should I do? Shout?" "Yes." "I will not." "Then I will." Before she could stop him, Theo lifted one pie. "Fresh meat pies," he called. "Buy one, and if it is bad, my wife will blame me all day." People laughed. Elodie stared at him. "Why would you say that?" "Because they stopped walking. A bus driver bought one." Then a teacher bought 2. Soon, several market women came closer. By noon, every pie was gone. Elodie counted the money twice. "We made more than I expected." "We?" You shouted. That was the hardest part. The next day, Theo drew a map of nearby offices, repair shops, and schools. "These workers cannot leave at noon," he explained. "We take the food to them. With your bicycle? It may be ugly, but it moves." They tied 2 baskets to the back. Elodie packed the food while Theo rode from street to street. By the end of the week, people were placing orders before sunrise. Theo wrote every sale in a small book. "Why do you record everything?" Elodie asked. "If you do not know what you earn, you do not own a business. The business owns you." "Who taught you that?" "I learned it the hard way." They added fruit juice and sweet bread. Theo changed the delivery roads so he could carry more orders. He fixed an old phone so customers could call them. One evening, Elodie pushed some money toward him. "My first payment." Theo took only half. "You lent me more than that. You need money for tomorrow." "You sound like a man who has managed more than a bicycle." Theo closed the book. "Perhaps I have." Before she could question him, her phone buzzed. Marissa had posted a video. She stood beside the red Lamborghini wearing dark glasses. "My sister chose a bicycle," she said. "Some women are born to shine. Others are born to struggle." Thousands of people had watched it. Elodie's face burned. Theo reached for the phone, but she pulled it away. "Do not pity me. I was going to close it. I can close my own phone." Another video started. Preston stood behind Marissa with one hand on her shoulder. "Tell them about the new deal," he ordered. Marissa's smile changed. "Preston has started a property company, and I am proud to support him." "Say you signed the papers." "I signed them." "Say your father approved." Marissa paused. Preston's fingers pressed harder into her shoulder. "My father approved," she said. The video ended. Elodie frowned. She was afraid. Theo watched the last part again. "He is using her name. How can you know?" He made her say the words people would need to hear. "Maybe it is only business." Maybe. But his face said he did not believe that. The next morning, rain fell before sunrise. Theo tied cloth over the food baskets. "You cannot ride in this," Elodie said. "People already ordered. You will get sick." They paid for breakfast. "That does not matter more than your health." Theo looked at her, surprised. "What?" she asked. "Nothing. You are smiling." He rode away before she could argue. 2 hours later, he returned soaked and shaking. Elodie pulled him inside, dried his hair with a towel, and gave him a hot drink. "You are foolish. The deliveries were made. You could have fallen." "I did fall." Her eyes widened. "Were you hurt?" "Only my pride." She found a scrape near his elbow and cleaned it. "You should have come back." "And disappoint 20 hungry teachers?" "Yes." Theo smiled. "You do care." "I care because I cannot run the deliveries alone." "Of course." That evening, Theo wrote her name on the front of the sales book. Elodie's kitchen. She stared at it. "You named it after me. It is your work. It was your plan. You made the food. You found the customers. We make a good team." Elodie looked at him across the small table. His clothes were simple, his bicycle was old, and his secrets still stood between them. Yet he had never mocked her, controlled her, or treated her like a burden. For the first time since the forced wedding, the small house did not feel like a prison. Theo looked away before she could see too much in his eyes. But when Elodie smiled at her name on the book, he watched her quietly. He was no longer only protecting her. He was beginning to love her. The next morning, Elodie woke before Theo and found him asleep on the mat beside the bed. Elodie's kitchen. Then someone pounded on the door. "Elodie, open up." Theo sat up at once. His eyes became sharp, and his hand moved toward the box. "It is Ruth," Elodie said. She opened the door and found Ruth breathing hard. "You have to come now," Ruth said. "The medicine truck is missing." Elodie's smile disappeared. "What do you mean missing?" It left the main store last night. It never reached the clinic. Theo stood behind her. How much medicine? All of it. The new order for the children. The boxes from the private donor? Elodie asked. No, those are almost finished. This was the next delivery. The one your father said he would release after the wedding. Elodie grabbed her scarf. Let us go. At Hopewell Clinic, nurses stood in the hall. 2 mothers held sick children. One little boy was coughing so hard that his body shook. Ruth placed several papers on the table. The driver signed out last night, she said. The company says he delivered everything. He did not, Elodie replied. The delivery office says the clinic received it. Who signed? Ruth pointed at the bottom of the page. Your name is here. Elodie stared at the paper. I did not sign this. Franklin's voice came from the doorway. But it is your name. Elodie turned. Her father entered with Yvonne and 2 men. What are you doing here? Elodie asked. Franklin walked to the desk. Medicine worth thousands has disappeared, and your name is on the form. That is not my signature. It looks close enough. Theo stepped beside Elodie. Close enough is not the same as real. Franklin looked at him with disgust. Nobody asked the bicycle beggar. Theo did not react. Then perhaps someone should. Yvonne folded her arms. Elodie, the clinic may close if the medicine is not found. You think I stole medicine from sick children? Elodie asked. Franklin picked up the form. You lost your home. You needed money. Then you suddenly started a business. My business sells bread and pies. Small businesses can hide large money. Elodie's face became hot. You planned this. Franklin's eyes narrowed. Be careful. You said the clinic would lose everything if I left. I married Theo so you could not punish the children without looking cruel. Now the medicine is gone, and my name appears on a false paper. Franklin stepped closer. You have always believed your kindness makes you better than me. This is about children who cannot breathe without that medicine. Then tell us where it is. I do not know. Franklin turned to the board members. Until this is solved, Elodie should not touch any account, supply room, or clinic paper. You cannot remove me, Elodie said. I still control the fund. Theo picked up the form before Franklin could stop him. Put that down, Franklin ordered. Theo ignored him and studied the page. He looked at the date, driver number, and small marks near the top. What do these symbols mean? He asked Ruth. They came from the transport company. No, Theo said. They came from Varelli. The room became quiet. Franklin frowned. What are you talking about? Theo tapped the paper. This is a Varelli Motors shipment code. Ruth shook her head. Why would a car company move medicine? They would not, Theo replied. Not openly. Elodie watched him. How do you know that code? Theo did not answer. Franklin laughed. He is guessing. Theo pointed at the letters and numbers. The first part is the factory branch. The next part is the truck type. The last number is used only for private company loads. One of Franklin's men leaned closer. That is correct. Franklin looked sharply at him. How would you know? My brother works in transport. Theo turned the paper over. This copy was changed after the truck left the store. Ruth stepped nearer. How can you tell? The ink is darker here. The time was changed. The clinic stamp is real, but it was pressed before the signature was added. Elodie's voice became low. And my name? Copied. Franklin grabbed the form. Enough. Theo did not move. The truck did not come here. It was sent somewhere else. Where? Elodie asked. Theo looked at the code again. A private storage yard near the old highway. Franklin stared at him. You speak as if you have seen this system before. Theo met his eyes. I have. The answer changed the air in the room. Yvonne gave a nervous laugh. Perhaps he once washed cars there. Theo turned to Ruth. Call the police. Tell them to check yard 17 before the truck moves. Franklin struck the desk. No police. Everyone looked at him. Elodie's eyes narrowed. Why not? Because public trouble will damage the clinic. Missing medicine is already trouble. I will handle it. You handled my wedding too, Elodie said. Look where that brought us. Franklin's face hardened. You are still my daughter, and you are still hiding something. Before he could answer, Ruth's phone rang. She listened, then covered the speaker. The police found the truck, she whispered. It is at yard 17. Elodie looked at Theo. Franklin went pale for 1 second, but Theo saw it. Most of the boxes are still there, Ruth continued. 2 men ran when the officers arrived. The mothers began to cry with relief. Elodie turned to her father. You blamed me before checking anything. Franklin pointed at Theo. This man is the reason trouble follows you. No, Theo said. Trouble was already here. I only noticed it. Franklin walked close enough that their faces were inches apart. Who are you? Franklin asked. Theo's voice stayed calm. A man who reads before he accuses. Franklin left without another word. Yvonne followed him, but she looked back at Theo twice. By afternoon, the medicine reached the clinic. The children received treatment, and the nurses returned to work. Elodie found Theo outside beside his bicycle. You knew exactly where the truck was, she said. I read the code. You knew the code before anyone explained it. Yes. You knew how Varelli Motors marks private loads. Yes. Then tell me why. Theo tightened one of the bicycle bolts. Not here. You always say that. Because people listen. Who? Theo looked across the road. A black car was parked near the market entrance. Its windows were dark. Elodie followed his eyes. Has that car been there long? Since we left the clinic. Are they watching us? I do not know. You do know. Theo stood. Go inside. I am not a child. Then act like someone who understands danger. Elodie stepped in front of him. Do not speak to me like that. Theo lowered his voice. Please, go inside. Something in his face made her obey. Across the city, inside a glass office at Varelli Motors, Russell Creed stood near a wide window. A man placed a photo on his desk. The picture showed Theo outside Hopewell Clinic. Russell stared at it. That is impossible, he said. The transport code was exposed, the man replied. The medicine was recovered because someone knew the private yard number. Russell picked up the photo. Who else saw him? Several people. We searched for his body for 6 months, Russell said. Now he appears beside a clinic with a bicycle. What should we do? Russell looked toward the city below. Find the house. Find the woman. Find out what he has told her. And if it is really him? Russell's face became cold. Bring him to me before the board learns he is alive. That evening, 2 men entered the market and began asking questions about the beggar who repaired bicycles. The 2 men moved from stall to stall, showing Theo's picture and asking questions. Elodie watched from behind the curtain. They are asking for you, she whispered. I know. One of them described your bicycle. I heard him. Then we should leave. Theo shook his head. Running now will tell them they found the right place. They already know the market. How long before someone points at this house? Not long. A woman from the next stall called out, The bicycle man? He repairs near the old bread shop. Elodie grabbed his arm. Inside. Now. They entered and closed the door. Theo pulled the wooden box away from the wall and opened a loose floorboard. Elodie stared. How long has that been there? Since before you came. He removed a black bag. What is inside? Things I need. A hard knock struck the door. Open up, a man called. We are looking for a repairman. Elodie moved toward the door, but Theo caught her wrist. Do not open it. They will become suspicious. They already are. The knocking came again. Elodie raised her voice. The repairman is not here. Where did he go? I do not know. We only want to speak with him. Theo leaned near her. Ask who sent them. Who sent you? Elodie called. There was silence. Then the man answered, A customer. What customer? He damaged something important. Theo's eyes hardened. Elodie replied, Then leave your name. Their footsteps moved away, but Theo stayed still. Elodie pulled her hand free. You knew they would come. I knew it was possible. You brought me into this without telling me. I did not know your father would force you to marry me. But after that, you still kept me here. I offered you freedom. You offered words. I had nowhere else to go. Theo looked down. You are right. I am sorry. Sorry will not stop those men. No, but this might. He opened the bag. Inside were a second phone, a small drive, and papers sealed in plastic. What are those? Proof. Of what? We have to move the rest before they return. The rest? He rolled the bicycle inside, locked the door, turned it over, and removed the worn seat. Elodie saw a thin metal case hidden inside the frame. You hid papers inside the bicycle. I hid copies. Copies of what? Theo opened the case. There were company records, bank pages, photographs, and letters marked with the Betrayal Motors name. Elodie picked up one page. These numbers are huge. They are missing payments. She lifted another. This has Russell Creed's name. Yes. Why do you have his records? Theo closed the curtains. Because Russell stole from my company. Your company? Betrayal Motors. Do not do this. I am telling you the truth. You expect me to believe the man sleeping on my floor owns one of the largest car companies in the country? I founded it. I own more shares than anyone on the board. Elodie pushed the paper back at him. Stop saying things that make no sense. Theo took the old phone from the bag and opened a picture. It showed him in a dark suit beside a new car. Elodie looked from the screen to his face. That could be changed. He showed her pictures beside the Betrayal factory sign and inside a board meeting with Russell. Elodie sat on the bed. Theo Mercer, she whispered, the founder who disappeared. She could barely believe what she heard. Yes, the news said you stole company money and escaped. That story came from Russell. Some reports said you died. He hoped I had. Tell me everything. 6 months ago, I found false payments inside Betrayal. Money was being moved through fake transport jobs, supply orders, and private yards. Russell controlled most of it. The medicine truck. It used the same system. Why would he steal medicine? He did not care what was inside. He needed the route to move goods and money without questions. Did my father know? I do not have proof yet. But you think he did? Theo nodded. Harper Estates appears in some records. You knew my family was involved before the wedding. I knew the company name. I did not know how much your father knew. Then why were you outside his gate? I followed one of Russell's transport men there. My bicycle chain truly broke. I asked for water because I needed a reason to stay. So meeting me was part of your plan? No. I watched a truck enter. Then you came outside and gave me food. Elodie's eyes filled with anger. You let me think you were helpless. I needed people to see a beggar. Why? Because rich men look through poor people. Guards ignore them. Workers speak near them. A man in a suit is watched. A man on a broken bicycle is forgotten. And the attack? Russell learned I had copied the accounts. He asked me to meet him on a mountain road. He said he wanted to explain. What happened? A truck hit my car from behind. I lost control and went over the side. The car burned, Theo continued. Russell thought I was inside. I had been thrown out before it caught fire. A farmer found me and hid me until I could walk again. Why did you not go to the police? Russell had people inside the company and transport offices. I had part of the proof, but not enough. If I returned too early, he would destroy the rest and try again. So you disappeared. I changed my clothes, stayed near the market, and followed the routes. You carried all this around while I sat behind you. Yes. You slept beside me while men wanted you dead. Yes. You paid for the clinic from a company account. From a private account Russell could not reach. Elodie's voice broke. You should have told me. I wanted to. When? After they dragged me away, I was trying to protect you. You married me and made me part of your life. You had no right to decide what truth I could handle. Theo lowered his head. You are right. She wiped her eyes. Stop saying that as if it fixes anything. It does not. Do you even care what happens to me? Theo looked up. More than I planned to. That is why I was afraid to tell you. Everyone close to me becomes a target. I was already a target when my father used the clinic against me. I know. Then no more half-truths. Theo nodded. No more. A bicycle bell sounded outside, followed by a market boy's voice. The men are coming back with others. We have to leave. Elodie took the metal case from him. He frowned. What are you doing? You said those papers can expose Russell. They can help. Then I am carrying half. No. She held the case tighter. You do not get to hide everything again. Theo looked at her. This could become dangerous. It is already dangerous. You can still walk away and let Russell close my mother's clinic, steal from your company, and use my father's business to hide it? Elodie. No. I am angry with you. I do not trust you fully, but what Russell did is wrong. Theo's voice softened. What are you saying? She placed the case inside her bag. I am saying I will help you find the rest of the proof. The men's footsteps grew louder outside. Theo lifted the bicycle, and Elodie opened the back door. For the first time, they were not only husband and wife because of a cruel paper. They were partners in a fight that could destroy everything Russell had built. Elodie and Theo slipped through the back door just as the men reached the front of the house. Theo pushed the bicycle between two narrow walls, and Elodie followed with the metal case inside her bag. Where are we going? She whispered. To a place Russell does not know. You said no more half-truths. Theo looked over his shoulder. An old repair shop near the bus station. A man named Bernard owns it. He helped me after the crash. A loud bang came from behind them. Open this door, one of the men shouted. Theo grabbed Elodie's hand. Run. They moved through the market, passing closed stalls and piles of empty boxes. Elodie could hear the men behind them. There! Someone yelled. Theo pulled her around a corner. A small delivery van was parked beside a fruit stall. Theo banged on the window. The driver looked up. What is wrong? We need to reach the bus station. I am not a taxi. Theo pulled out some money. Now. The driver opened the side door. Elodie climbed in first. Theo threw the bicycle inside and jumped after her. The van drove off as two men reached the road. Elodie looked through the back window. They saw us. Yes. What happens now? Theo touched the metal case. We keep the proof safe. And after that, we find the records Russell still has. Elodie stared at him. You sound calm. I am not calm. You do not look afraid. Theo gave a tired smile. I learned how to hide it. The repair shop was old and dark. Bernard, a heavy man with gray hair, opened the door and pulled them inside. You brought trouble, he said. Trouble was already following me, Theo replied. Bernard looked at Elodie. Is this the woman? Elodie frowned. What woman? The one he married. Theo quickly said, Bernard, not now. Bernard shook his head. You disappear for 6 months, return dressed like a beggar, and then marry a rich man's daughter. I have many questions. So do I, Elodie said. Theo placed the metal case on the table. Can you hide this? Bernard opened it and went pale. Russell knows you are alive? Yes. Then this place is not safe. It only needs to be safe for one night. Before Bernard could answer, Elodie's phone rang. Marissa's name appeared on the screen. Elodie looked at Theo. Answer it, he said. She put the phone to her ear. What do you want? Marissa's voice sounded weak. I need to see you. Why? I cannot explain on the phone. You mocked me in front of thousands of people. Now you suddenly need me. Please, Elodie. The word surprised her. Marissa almost never said please. Where are you? Elodie asked. At the old garden cafe near Father's office. Theo shook his head. Elodie covered the phone. She sounds afraid. It could be a trap. I know. Marissa spoke again. Preston is watching me. I think he has done something terrible. Elodie's face changed. What did he do? He used my name for company papers. I signed things I did not read. Theo moved closer so he could hear. Marissa continued. He said it was for a new property deal, but I found payments from Varelli Motors. Elodie looked at Theo. Stay where you are, she said. I am coming. Theo grabbed her arm after the call ended. You cannot go. She may have proof. She may also be working with Preston. She sounded scared. Fear can be acted. So can kindness, Elodie replied. You know that better than anyone. Theo let go of her arm. The words hurt him, but he did not argue. Bernard looked between them. You should not go alone. I will go with her, Theo said. No, Elodie replied. If Russell knows your face, you will lead him straight there. You are not meeting Preston without me. I am meeting my sister. And if Preston is waiting, then I will leave. Theo stepped closer. You think he will allow that? Elodie lowered her voice. I need you to trust me once. Theo looked at her for a long moment. Take this, he said. He handed her a small phone. One button calls me. Another starts recording. Elodie put it in her pocket. At the cafe, Marissa sat in the far corner wearing a large hat and dark glasses. Her hands shook around a cup. Elodie sat across from her. Where is Preston? I do not know. What did you find? Marissa looked around. He made me sign papers for 3 companies. He said I would be listed as owner because people trust the Harper name. And you agreed? I thought he loved me. That was not my question. Marissa's eyes filled with tears. Yes, I agreed. Elodie stayed quiet. Marissa leaned forward. He moves money through the companies. I found a file with Russell Creed's name. Do you still have it? No. Preston caught me. What happened? He took it and locked me inside the house. Elodie stared at her. How did you get out? I told him I wanted to meet you and bring you back to father. Elodie's body became stiff. So this is a trap. No, I lied to him. Does he know where we are? Marissa looked down. Elodie stood. You told him. I had no choice. You always have a choice. He said he would destroy father. Father tried to destroy me. Marissa rose too. You do not understand. Preston controls everything now. A man's voice came from behind them. She understands enough. Preston stepped from the side door with 2 security men. Elodie reached for the small phone in her pocket. Preston smiled. Where is your husband? I came alone. I do not believe you. Marissa moved toward him. You promised you would only speak to her. Preston pushed her aside. I promised nothing. Elodie turned toward the front door, but the guards blocked it. Preston walked closer. Russell wants the bicycle man. Then ask Russell to find him himself. He will. But first, you will tell me where the records are. I have no idea. Preston's smile disappeared. Do not make this difficult. You already made it difficult when you used my sister like a pen. Marissa stared at him. Preston glanced at her. Do not listen to this jealous woman. Jealous? Elodie said. Of what? The car? The lies? The hand on her shoulder every time she tries to speak. Marissa's eyes dropped. Preston gripped Elodie's arm. You will come with me. Elodie hit the record button inside her pocket. At the repair shop, Theo's phone lit up. He heard Preston's voice through the open line. Russell knows Theo has the papers. We planted enough at his house to make him look like the thief. Theo stood so fast that the chair fell. Bernard grabbed his coat. Where are you going? To get her. Back at the cafe, Preston pulled Elodie toward the rear exit. You planted records? Elodie asked. Preston smiled. By now, the police are searching your house. Marissa went pale. You said you were only looking for Theo. I said what you needed to hear. Sirens sounded outside. Preston released Elodie. A police officer entered with 2 others. Theo Mercer has been accused of stealing company records and private funds, the officer said. Where is he? Elodie looked at Preston and understood the trap. You arranged this. Preston said nothing. Minutes later, police found Theo near the bus station and arrested him. Franklin arrived at the station before Elodie did. He watched Theo being placed in a cell and smiled. The beggar finally showed his true face, Franklin said. Elodie stepped between them. You know this is false. Franklin's smile faded. You are still defending him? Yes. He lied about who he was. So did everyone in your house. Franklin pointed at the cell. He brought shame, crime, and danger into your life. No, you brought him into my life when you forced that marriage. Franklin had no answer. That night, Elodie returned to the Harper mansion with Marissa. Preston had left, and the red Lamborghini stood in the garage. Marissa wiped her tears. He keeps a second phone somewhere in the car. I saw him hide it once. They searched under the seats, inside the doors, and behind the spare tools. Elodie reached beneath the passenger seat and felt a small black box. She pulled it free. A red light blinked. Marissa stared at it. That is not a phone. Theo's small recording device was still in Elodie's pocket. But this box was older and full of saved files. Elodie pressed one button. Preston's voice filled the garage. Russell, the medicine route worked. Franklin will blame Elodie. Once Theo appears, we will plant the records and let the police take him. Another voice answered. It was Russell. Good. After that, the board will never hear his side. Elodie and Marissa looked at each other. Inside the shining red Lamborghini, they had found the first clear proof that could free Theo and destroy the men who trapped him. Elodie held the black recording box while Preston's voice filled the garage. Once Theo appears, we will plant the records and let the police take him. Russell's voice answered. After that, the board will never hear his side. Marissa covered her mouth. He used my car to hide this, she whispered. Elodie stopped the recording. We need to make copies before anyone knows we found it. What if Preston comes back? Then we do not stay here. They took the box to Bernard's repair shop. Bernard connected it to an old computer and copied every file onto 3 small drives. Theo was still inside the police station when Elodie arrived with 1 copy. The officer at the desk looked tired. Visiting hours are over. I am not here for a visit. She placed the drive in front of him. What is this? He asked. Proof that Theo was framed. Franklin stood near the far wall with Yvonne. He had been speaking to another officer. Elodie, he said sharply, go home. I do not have a home in your house. You are making a terrible mistake. No, I made the mistake of trusting you. Franklin walked toward her. Whatever you think you found, give it to me. Elodie picked up the drive before he could reach it. Why are you afraid of a recording? His face changed. What recording? He asked. Marissa entered behind Elodie. The one Preston hid in my Lamborghini, she said. Franklin stared at her. Why are you involved in this? Because Preston used me. You signed those papers willingly. I signed because you told me he was the right man. I told you he came from a good family. You cared about his family name. You did not care what kind of man he was. The officer raised one hand. Everyone needs to calm down. Elodie pointed at the drive. Play the files. The officer listened to the first recording with 2 other policemen. Then they took the drive into a private room. Franklin moved close to Elodie. You do not understand what you are doing, he whispered. I understand that medicine was stolen. False papers were planted, and an innocent man was arrested. You do not know that he is innocent. I know you wanted him to look guilty. Franklin's eyes became cold. You are choosing a stranger over your own blood. You made Theo my husband in front of 200 people. Now you call him a stranger because he may expose you. Before Franklin could answer, the office door opened. The officer looked at Elodie. The recording is serious. Theo Mercer will be released while we investigate the claims. Franklin stepped forward. You cannot release him because of one voice file. We also received a request from Varelli Motors. Their board is holding an emergency meeting this morning. Elodie frowned. Why? The company lawyer says Theo Mercer must be present. An hour later, Theo walked out wearing the same worn clothes from the day he was arrested. Elodie hurried toward him. Are you hurt? No. Did they question you all night? Yes. Why did you not tell them who you were? Theo looked at Franklin. Because I wanted Russell to believe his plan had worked. Franklin gave a bitter laugh. You expect people to believe you own Varelli Motors? Theo faced him. You believed it when you used my company to hide your money. The color left Franklin's face. Marissa looked between them. What does he mean? Franklin pointed at Theo. Do not listen to him. Theo turned to Elodie. We need to reach the board meeting. Bernard had brought a clean dark suit. It was simple and had no expensive marks. Theo changed inside the station and folded his poor clothes into a small bag. When he came out, Elodie stared at him. The torn shirt was gone. The weak-looking beggar had disappeared. Theo stood straight, calm, and firm. You look different, she said. I am still the same man. You do not look like the man who shouted about meat pies in the market. His mouth lifted slightly. That man is still here too. At Varelli Motors, guards blocked the doors when they saw Theo. This meeting is private, one guard said. Theo looked at the name on the guard's badge. Call the legal office and tell them Theo Mercer is at the door. The guard laughed. Everyone knows Theo Mercer disappeared. Then today will be surprising. A woman in a gray suit rushed into the lobby. Theo? Her eyes filled with tears. Theo nodded. Hello, Camille. She hugged him before remembering where they were. We thought you were dead, she said. Russell hoped I was. Camille looked at the guards. Open the doors. He is the founder of this company. The guards stepped aside. Elodie, Marissa, Bernard, and Franklin followed Theo into the boardroom. Russell sat at the head of a long table with 12 directors around him. Preston stood near the window. When Russell saw Theo, his chair moved backward. You, he whispered. Theo placed the old bicycle seat on the table. Yes, Russell. Me. Several directors began speaking at once. This cannot be real. We were told he escaped. The report said he stole company money. Theo raised his hand. The room became quiet. Russell stood. This man is wanted for theft. Security should remove him. Camille placed a folder on the table. Theo Mercer still owns 41% of Varelli Motors. No director owns more. Russell's face tightened. His shares were frozen. Frozen, Camille replied. Not removed. Theo sat in the chair opposite Russell. You have been using my seat, he said. Enjoy it for the next few minutes. Russell struck the table. You disappeared after stealing millions. Theo opened the bicycle seat and removed copies of the hidden records. I disappeared after discovering that you moved company money through false transport work. He passed the papers to the directors. These payments went to companies that own no trucks, no offices, and no workers. Russell pointed at the files. Those could be false. Elodie placed the black recording box beside them. Then perhaps your voice is false too. Preston moved toward the door. 2 police officers entered and blocked him. The recording played. Russell's voice filled the boardroom. The medicine route worked. Once Theo appears, plant the records and let the police take him. Nobody spoke when it ended. Theo opened another file. 6 months ago, Russell asked me to meet him on the mountain road. A truck hit my car from behind. Russell shook his head. You have no proof that I arranged it. Theo placed a photograph on the table. The truck belonged to one of your false transport companies. Its driver received a large payment the next morning. Preston looked at Russell. You said all the records were destroyed. Russell turned on him. Be quiet. Theo leaned back. Thank you, Preston. That sounded very helpful. The directors stared at Russell with fear and anger. One older director spoke. Where did the stolen money go? Theo opened the last file. Some went into Russell's private accounts. Some passed through property companies controlled by Preston. He looked toward Franklin. And millions passed through Harper Estates. Marissa slowly turned toward her father. "No," she said. "That is not true." Franklin moved toward the table. "These are normal business payments." Theo held up a signed paper. This payment approved a fake building project. No building was ever started. Franklin's voice rose. "I trusted Russell's company. You signed the papers after your finance officer warned you that the numbers were false." Theo placed a copy of the warning beside the payment. Elodie stared at her father. "You knew." Franklin looked at her. "I was protecting our company. You stole medicine from children. I did not know medicine was inside that truck. You knew the routes were false." Franklin said nothing. Marissa touched the red car key in her handbag. "What about my Lamborghini?" she asked. Nobody answered. She looked at Franklin. "Father, where did the money come from?" "It was a gift." "From which account?" Theo slid one final record across the table. Marissa read it, and her hand began to shake. The Lamborghini had been paid for through one of Preston's false companies. The money had come from Varelli's stolen funds. "My car was bought with stolen money," she whispered. Preston looked away. Marissa dropped the key onto the boardroom table as if it had burned her hand. The bright red Lamborghini had once made her feel like the luckiest daughter in the world. Now she understood that it was not a gift. It was proof. Marissa stared at the paper on the boardroom table. "My car was bought with stolen money," she whispered. Preston looked away. Marissa turned toward him. "Look at me." He said nothing. "I said look at me." Preston finally faced her. "You knew," Marissa said. "You knew the money was stolen." Preston stepped back. "This is not the place. You used my name. You used my father's company. You used my car to hide your recordings. I was protecting you. From what? From losing everything." Marissa gave a broken laugh. "You are the reason I am losing everything." Russell moved toward the side door, but the police officers blocked him. "You cannot arrest me because of old recordings," he said. "I am the acting head of this company." Theo stood slowly. "You are the man who tried to kill the owner of this company." Russell pointed at him. "You have no proof that I ordered the crash." "The driver is alive," Camille said. Russell froze. Theo watched his face. "He agreed to speak after he learned you planned to blame him for everything." "That is a lie." Russell cried, "You are under arrest for fraud, theft, and the planned attack on Theo Mercer." Russell pushed the officer's hand away. "Do you know who I am?" "Yes," the officer replied. "That is why we came with more men." He shouted across the table. "Theo, you think you won? This company is broken. The board will turn against you. The workers will blame you." Theo did not raise his voice. "The workers will learn who stole their money." Russell kept shouting as the police let him out. Preston tried to follow the directors into the hall, but another officer stopped him. "You need to stay." Preston forced a smile. "I am only a business partner." Marissa lifted one of the signed papers. "You made me the owner of companies I had never seen. You signed them. You told me they were harmless. You should have read them." The words struck her harder than a slap. Elodie watched Marissa's face change. For years, her sister had believed Preston would protect her. Now he spoke to her as if she were only a tool that had stopped working. Preston turned to the officer. "I want a lawyer. You may call one." He reached into his pocket, then stopped. His phone was gone. Marissa looked at him. "Where is it?" "What?" "The second phone you always carry." "I do not know what you are talking about." Theo looked toward the window. Far below, a black car left the company parking area. "Someone is running," he said. Preston rushed to the glass. His face became pale. The officer beside him received a call. After listening, he looked at Preston. "Your personal driver was seen leaving with several bags. Airport police have been warned." Preston swore under his breath. Marissa stepped closer. "What was in the bags?" "Nothing." "What was in them?" Preston did not answer. Camille opened a company account on her tablet. The false companies were emptied less than an hour ago, she said. The money was moved to accounts outside the country. Everyone looked at Preston. He shook his head quickly. Russell did it. The final order used your private code, Camille replied. Marissa's eyes filled again. You were going to leave me. Preston's silence answered her. You planned to take the money and disappear. I did what I had to do. And what was I supposed to do? You still have your family. Marissa looked at Franklin. Her father stood near the wall while two company lawyers read the papers connected to Harper Estates. One lawyer closed the folder. Mr. Harper, the board is freezing every payment linked to your company. Franklin stepped forward. You cannot freeze my business. We can freeze company money that passed through it. My workers depend on those accounts. Theo looked at him. So did the clinic. Franklin's face tightened. Do not compare my company to a clinic. Why not? You were willing to close one to control your daughter. Franklin turned to Elodie. Tell him this has gone too far. Elodie stared at him. You blamed me for stolen medicine. You tried to make me look like a thief. I was angry. You were cruel. I am still your father. That did not stop you. The lawyers told Franklin that he could no longer control Harper Estates while the records were checked. His office keys, account access, and company cards were taken. Yvonne called twice, then stopped answering when she learned the police wanted to question her. By evening, the boardroom was empty. Russell was in jail. Preston had been held for questioning while officers searched for the missing money. Franklin had lost control of the company he once used like a weapon. Marissa sat alone in the lobby. Outside, police workers opened the red Lamborghini. One officer placed a label on the door. Marissa stood. What are they doing? Elodie looked through the glass. Taking it as evidence. No. Marissa hurried outside, but an officer stopped her. That car is part of the case. It belongs to me. The payment came from stolen funds. Marissa looked at the red car. Only days earlier, people had taken pictures of her beside it. She had believed it proved she was loved. Now strangers opened every part of it while cameras watched. She removed the house key from her bag. At least I can go home. Franklin looked away. Marissa frowned. Father, the house may also be checked. What does that mean? It means we cannot stay there tonight. Marissa stared at him. Where am I supposed to go? Franklin did not answer. Elodie felt sorry for her, but she remembered the videos, the laughter, and the way Marissa had watched while their father forced the marriage. You can stay with Ruth near the clinic, Elodie said. Marissa nodded without pride. Theo then led Elodie to a company car. Where are we going? She asked. To my house. You have another house? A company home. It was kept ready after I disappeared. The house was larger than Franklin's mansion. Workers opened tall doors, and lights came on across rooms. Elodie stood in the entrance. Theo watched her. You are safe here. She looked at the stairs, the glass walls, and the expensive furniture. Safe? Yes. You brought me here after hiding this from me for weeks. I wanted to tell you. You always say that. I was afraid. So was I. I slept beside a man being hunted and did not know why. Theo moved closer. Everything I felt for you was real, but everything around it was built on a lie. I never lied about caring for you. You let me believe we had nothing. I needed the disguise. You needed it. I did not choose it. Theo's voice became soft. What do you want me to do? Elodie lifted her bag. Give me space. Where will you go? Back to the market house. You cannot stay there alone. I stayed in your danger without knowing. I can stay in a small house knowing the truth. Theo looked hurt, but he did not block the door. I will not force you to remain. That is the first thing I need from you. The next morning, Elodie returned to the house behind the market. Theo did not send guards after her. He did not call again and again. He left the company car in the garage, put on his plain shirt, and took out the old blue bicycle. When the workers asked where he was going, he gave only one answer. To give my wife time to decide whether she can trust the man, not the money. Elodie woke to the sound of a bicycle bell outside the market house. For a second, she thought Theo had come back. She sat up and looked through the curtain, but it was only a fruit seller pushing his cart down the road. The room felt different without Theo. His mat was rolled beside the wall. His toolbox was gone, but the sales book rested on the table. Elodie's kitchen. She touched the words with one finger. A knock came at the door. "Who is it?" she asked. "It is me." Franklin's voice made her hand stop. She opened the door but did not invite him inside. Her father stood in a shirt without his driver, guards, or coat. His face looked tired. "I need to speak with you," he said. "You had many chances." "Elodie, please." She almost laughed. Franklin Harper did not say please. He gave orders. "What do you want?" "The police are asking questions. The company board has frozen everything. Some papers have my name on them. Your name is there because you signed them. I did not understand the plan. You understood enough to hide money." Franklin lowered his voice. "Russell told me the payments were temporary. He said the money would return before anyone noticed. And when the medicine disappeared, you blamed me. I was trying to protect Harper Estates. You were protecting yourself." Franklin looked past her into the room. "You cannot let your anger destroy our family. Our family was already broken when you made my wedding a punishment." "I was wrong." Elodie stared at him. He swallowed. "I said I was wrong. That is not the same as being sorry." Franklin's face tightened. "What do you want from me? Do you want me on my knees?" "I want you to tell the truth. If I tell them everything, I may go to prison. If you hide it, people may suffer. I am your father, and those sick children were innocent." Franklin stepped closer. "You can speak to Theo. The board listens to him now. Ask him to say I was fooled. But you were not fooled. I made mistakes. You made choices." He looked angry then, like the old Franklin was pushing through his fear. "After everything I gave you, this is how you treat me?" Elodie's eyes became cold. "You gave Marissa a Lamborghini. You gave me a beggar as a joke. The beggar gave me respect." Franklin flinched. "You are choosing him over me again." "No, I am choosing the truth over you." The door behind Franklin opened, and Marissa stepped into the narrow path. "I heard you," she said. Franklin turned. "Why are you here?" "To give Elodie something." Marissa held a brown folder against her chest. She wore a simple dress, and her hair was tied back. Without her clothes and dark glasses, she looked younger. Franklin reached for the folder. "Give that to me." Marissa pulled it away. "No. What is inside?" "The papers Preston made me sign. Copies of messages, payments, names." Franklin's face went pale. "Where did you get them?" "I kept some photos on a cloud account Preston did not know about." "You will destroy us." Marissa shook her head. "Preston already did that. Russell helped him. You helped both of them. I am trying to save what is left." "So am I," she replied. "But I am not saving the lies." Franklin looked from one daughter to the other. "You will both regret this." Elodie's voice stayed calm. "Maybe, but the children will still have medicine." Franklin walked away without another word. Marissa watched him leave, then held out the folder. "This can prove Preston moved money through my name." Elodie took it. "Why are you giving it to me?" "Because I owe you more than an apology. You owe me many things." "I know." Marissa looked at the bicycle mark on the wall. "I laughed when Father forced you to marry Theo." "Yes." "I posted videos to shame you." "Yes." "I thought your life was over because you did not have a car." Elodie said nothing. Marissa's eyes filled. "Then my car was taken, Preston left me, and Father looked at me like I was another problem. I finally understood that none of those things meant I was loved." "That does not erase what you did." "I know." "Then why are you crying?" "Because I am ashamed." Elodie watched her sister. For once, Marissa did not make excuses. "I am sorry," Marissa said. Not because I lost the car. I am sorry because I enjoyed watching you hurt. The words were ugly, but they were honest. Elodie opened the door wider. Come inside. Later that morning, they took the folder to the police and then went to Hopewell Clinic. Ruth met them in the hall. Another notice came from the bank, Ruth said. The clinic fund may be frozen with Harper Estates. Elodie looked at the children waiting for treatment. That will not happen. How can you stop it? By removing the clinic from my father's control. That afternoon, Elodie met Camille, 2 lawyers and 3 doctors. They created an independent charity for the clinic. No Harper family member could control the money alone. Every payment would need records, and the doctors would decide how the funds were used. Franklin called during the meeting. You cannot take my name off that clinic, he shouted. My mother built it. I paid for it. You used it to control me. You are stealing my family's work. No, I am protecting it from our family. She ended the call. Camille placed the paper before her. Once you sign, the clinic can never be used as part of Harper Estates again. Elodie signed. Ruth smiled through tears. Your mother would be proud. Across the city, Theo stood before hundreds of Varelli workers inside the factory hall. Elodie watched the speech later on a television at the clinic. I cannot return what fear took from you, Theo told the workers. But I can return what Russell stole. A director leaned toward him. The payment plan is too large. You will lose your fortune. Theo did not move. Then I will lose it. You could protect your shares. Workers lost wages. Small suppliers lost businesses. Customers paid for cars that were delayed or never delivered. My company harmed them while I was hiding. You were trying to stay alive. They were trying to feed their families. Theo announced that part of his shares, savings, and company homes would be sold. The money would repay workers, suppliers, and customers before any director received a bonus. The factory became silent. One worker called out, "Why would a rich man give up that much?" Theo looked toward the camera. Because money is useful only when it repairs what was broken. Elodie remembered the house, the burnt stew, the rain deliveries, and the way Theo gave her the bed while he slept on the floor. Marissa stood beside her. He meant all of it, she said. Elodie looked at the screen. Theo had hidden his name, his company, and his money. That lie still hurt, but he had not lied when he fed children. He had not lied when he carried breakfast through the rain. He had not lied when he said a forced marriage did not make her his property. His kindness had been real when he seemed poor. Now, while people knew he was rich, it was still real. Elodie closed the sales book in her hands and looked toward the road where the bicycle had once disappeared. For the first time since she left Theo's house, she did not ask whether she could trust the billionaire. She asked whether she was ready to forgive the bicycle man. Elodie stood outside Hopewell Clinic with the sales book pressed against her chest. Theo's words from the factory speech stayed in her mind. Money is useful only when it repairs what was broken. She had spent days asking whether she could forgive him. Forgiveness did not mean pretending he had never hurt her. It meant deciding whether they could build something new. A bicycle bell rang behind her. Elodie turned. Theo stood beside the old blue bicycle. He wore a plain shirt and the same tired shoes from the market. There was no driver or expensive car. You came, she said. I was not sure you wanted me to. I was not sure either. Theo rested one hand on the bicycle seat. I can leave. Elodie looked at him. You always try to leave before the hard part. I thought giving you space was right. It was. But space is not the same as disappearing. Theo nodded. Then I will stay. They walked into the clinic garden while children played nearby. The clinic looks different, Theo said. It belongs to an independent charity now. My father can never control it again. I heard. Marissa gave the police more papers. I heard that too. You hear many things. I still know people at Varelli. Elodie gave him a small look. That sounded proud. I am trying not to sound like a billionaire. You are failing. They smiled for the first time. Then Elodie's face became serious. You lied to me. Theo's smile disappeared. I know. You let me believe you had nothing. Yes. You decided danger was easier for me if I did not understand it. Yes. You married me while hiding a life that could place me in danger. Yes. Theo did not defend himself. Elodie approached. Why are you not arguing? Because every word is true. Do you regret the disguise? No. It kept me alive. Do you regret hiding it from me? Every day. She searched his face. Would you do it again? Theo breathed. I would still hide from Russell and follow the trucks. But after your father forced that marriage, I would tell you the truth sooner. That is not a perfect answer. It is the honest one. Elodie looked toward the children. I do not need a perfect man, she said. I need a man who stops choosing for me. Theo nodded. Then I will never make that choice for you again. He reached into the bicycle basket and took out a small wooden box. Elodie stared at it. Theo, this is not what you think. It looks exactly like what I think. He opened the box. Inside was a simple ring. Theo lowered himself onto one knee. Elodie stepped back. Get up. His face fell. I understand. No. Get up because I will not let you ask me while kneeling in dust. Theo stood again. She folded her arms. Now speak. He held the ring between his fingers. Elodie Harper, the first time we married, you had no real choice. Your father used children to trap you, and I stood beside you because I did not want you to face him alone. Her eyes filled. This time there is no threat. There is no contract, board, mansion, or money you must accept. You can say no, and I will still protect the clinic. You can walk away, and I will never punish you. Elodie's voice shook. Why do you want to marry me again? Because you saw a hungry man when everyone else saw dirt. Because you worked before sunrise. Because you stood beside me even when you were angry. Because I loved you when we had burnt stew, a leaking roof, and one bed. You slept on the floor. I remember. You snored. I do not believe that. You did. Theo smiled. Then I promised to deny it for the rest of my life. Elodie looked at the ring. Do not marry me because I helped expose Russell, she said. I am not. Do not marry me because you feel guilty. I do not. Do not give me a mansion and call it love. I will give you truth, time, and every choice that should have been yours. Elodie held out her hand. Yes. Theo did not move. She laughed through her tears. I said yes. Are you sure? This is the first marriage question you have asked me properly. Do not ruin it. He slipped the ring onto her finger. The children cheered. Ruth clapped, and Marissa followed with tears in her eyes. You knew? Elodie asked. Marissa nodded. Theo asked if he could come today. You helped him. I only told him not to bring a red sports car. Theo looked offended. I came on the bicycle. That was the correct choice, Marissa said. The wedding took place 2 weeks later in the clinic garden. There were no gold gates, cruel guests, or legal papers. Elodie wore a simple white dress made by a market woman. Theo wore a dark suit, but he arrived on the old blue bicycle. Before the ceremony, Theo stood beside her. Last chance, he whispered. To run. To choose. Elodie took his hand. I already did. Ruth led the ceremony. When she asked Elodie if she accepted Theo freely, Elodie looked straight at him. I do. When she asked Theo, he answered without looking away. I do, and I will spend my life respecting that answer. The children threw flower petals. Bernard rang the bicycle bell so loudly that everyone laughed. Marissa worked at the clinic after the wedding. At first, she complained about early mornings and heavy boxes, but Ruth allowed no excuses. You wanted a fresh start, Ruth told her. Fresh starts still require work. Marissa learned to check medicine lists, serve food, and speak kindly to worried parents. She sold her expensive clothes to repay part of the money connected to Preston's false companies. Preston was charged with fraud after police found the missing accounts. Russell faced charges for theft and the attack on Theo. Franklin admitted his part after Marissa's records proved he signed the false payments. He lost Harper Estates and waited for the court to decide his punishment. One afternoon, Franklin asked Elodie to visit him. "I suppose you came to celebrate," he said. "No. Then why are you here?" "To tell you the clinic is safe." He looked down. "Your mother would have wanted the family together. She would have wanted us honest." Franklin's eyes filled, but Elodie did not remove the truth to make him comfortable. "I forgive you," she said, "but forgiveness does not erase the result of what you did." He nodded, and for once he did not argue. Months later, Varelli Motors reopened its main entrance. Workers and reporters gathered around a glass case in the lobby. Inside stood the old blue bicycle, still bent, scratched, and weak. A small sign beneath it carried one sentence. She chose the man before she knew what he owned. Theo stood beside Elodie while people took pictures. "You kept the broken seat," she said. "It held the proof. And the bell. It brought me back to you." Elodie rested her head against his shoulder. Expensive cars shone outside, but the bicycle drew the largest crowd. It reminded everyone that Marissa once received a Lamborghini built with stolen money, while Elodie was sent away with a beggar on a bicycle. One gift had looked rich and carried lies. The other had looked poor and carried truth. Elodie squeezed Theo's hand. The first time she rode away with him, she thought she had lost everything. Now she knew she had chosen the one thing money could never buy. A man who loved her when neither of them needed to pretend.